Hello everyone, my name is Ayushi and today I am going to be showcasing and explaining my CWS project, Memory Matching Game, using C++ programming language. Contents. Number 1. What is Memory Matching Game? Then how to play, my version of this game, then header files I used, and finally the full code breakdown. So, first of all, what is memory matching game? Some of you might not be aware of this game. The goal is to find and match pairs of identical cards or images from a set of face down cards by remembering their positions. As you can see here, at first all cards are flipped upside down. Then the player chooses two cards, one after the other. If the second card matches with the first one, then the pair remains permanently face up. Suppose in the next go, if the second card does not match with the first card, then the wrong pair is flipped down again. Suppose in the next turn, if a 1 is found here, then the player must remember that previously a 1 was found here in order to match that pair. In this way, all the pairs need to be matched for the game to finish. How to play my version of this game? In my version, I have represented face down card by asterisk. Player can choose the card he or she wants to flip by entering the row and the column number. For example, 1, then some kind of space, and 2 for first row, second card. Suppose the player wants to flip 3, 2, then 3, 2. This card will be flipped. The game will keep track of the number of moves made and the number of successfully matched pairs. Simply flipped card will be shown using the value, and successfully matched pairs of card will be shown using square brackets like this. Now I will do a run of the code. Here I will press enter, and then it will ask for the card. I will first pick this, then select the second card. Suppose I pick 2, 1. So second row, first card, it's this. Oh, and we were lucky and they happened to match. Press enter to continue, and one pair is already found. Now suppose I pick another one. 2, 1. 2, 1 we already selected. 2, 2. Oh, it does not match. Suppose if we enter something that is wrong. Suppose I enter E3 here. Then it will ask for numbers only. And if I do something wrong like 6, 6, which is out of range, then it will ask for numbers within the range. Header files I used IOStream. It enables console input and output operations. Then vector for dynamic storage of cards. I have used pushback and size functions from this STL. Algorithm provides common algorithms for data manipulation. I have used it for swap function. CTime provides time related functions from C standard library. I have used it to provide seed for random number generator. Then CSTDlib provides general utility functions from C standard library. Here I have used it for srand, rand, and system functions. Then limits provides information about numerical type properties. I will explain where I have used these in the code breakdown. I also wrote using namespace std so that I don't have to type std again and again in my program. Step by step breakdown of code. const int grid size is 4. I have fixed the grid size to be 4 for a 4 by 4 grid, total of 16 cards and 8 pairs. Struct card, I have defined a card struct. It will have 3 essential properties. First of all, value, which will be int, and is flipped and is matched are bool type. If a card gets flipped, then the is flipped value will be changed to true, otherwise initially it will be false. And if a card gets successfully matched, then its is matched value will be set to true, initially it's set to false. Next function, void clear screen. I have first used ANSI quotes and then this fallback in case the ANSI quotes do not work. The ANSI quotes may fail to work on some older Windows terminals, so the fallback will help. In Windows, I have used system cls command, and for Linux, Mac OS, the system clear. In our case, we are on Mac, so system clear is highlighted and system cls is not highlighted. Here cout.flush is used because output streams are buffered and they don't immediately display. Flush forces all buffered output to display immediately, so it ensures the ANSI codes runs immediately. And the ANSI codes is faster, that's why I first included that. And then this breakdown of ANSI escape code that I used. \033, this represents the escape character. Escape character has an ASCII value of 27 and an octal representation of 033. This sequence signals to the terminal that the following characters are not meant to be displayed as literal text but rather as instructions for controlling terminal behavior. This square bracket signals the start of control sequence. It is known as control sequence introducer, CSI. Then 2J. Here J is erase and display command, and 2 is the parameter that tells it that the scope is entire screen. So 2J erases the contents on the visual content on the entire screen. Then this one is for row number and this one is for column number. Then H is the command character which stands for cursor position. It instructs the terminal to move the cursor to this first row and first column. Next function, printboard. It will operate on vector. First of all, from a new line it will print some spaces, this \n, then some spaces. This space will ensure that the column numbers are not printed on top of the row number. So the column number will be here and the row number will be here. So column number will print till 4 because our grid size is 4. So when the column is 3, then it will print 4 and then it won't print any further. Then from next line, row number will be printed, and within the row the values of the cards will be printed. The index is defined like this: row into grid size plus column. This will ensure that all the cards have unique index. If the card index is matched, then it will print the value enclosed by square brackets. If it's simply flipped, then it will only be enclosed by spaces, and if it's not flipped or matched, then it will just print a asterisk which has spaces before and after. Then from new line it will print the next row and contents in that row. It will go till 1 2 3 4. Then this next function will return type vector. So it's vector card setup game, and here the grid size into grid size by 2, this is 8, so total pairs is 8. Here the vector will be formed, it will push back the value, then false for is matched and is flipped. This vector is not shuffled, so we will shuffle it using this. As rand, this I have used time to give seed to the rand function, and time 0 returns the current time as a number of seconds since January 1, 1970, called a Unix epoch. The 0 parameter, this tells that we don't want to store the result in a variable, just return it. srand expects an unsigned int type, but time is usually signed long, so we converted using static cast. It's not necessary to explicitly do this conversion, but we are doing it to avoid compiler warnings. And then a random index is generating here, rand, then the remainder when divided by card.size. Card.size is 16, so random index will go from 0 to 15, and the card at and then all the cards will be shuffled with a random index. This will ensure that everything is shuffled properly, and then card will be returned. Then this void wait for enter, I included this to ensure that there are proper pauses in the game and that it does not feel too rushed. It will pause execution until the user presses enter. It uses sin.ignore to clear any leftover input buffer. The sin.ignore, it takes two parameters, how many characters to ignore and the stop character, which is here. For how many characters, I used numeric limits, which is a template class from limits header. It provides information about the properties of numeric types. Stream size is used to represent the number of characters transferred in input-output operation, or the size of an input-output buffer. Stream size, this makes the template specialization. We are asking for limits of stream size type, and max is to ensure that the maximum possible value is returned. Then it will discard these many characters, but it will stop at new line. It will stop at the next new line, and then sin.get will take the enter. Next function, this function ensures that the input is valid. As I have already shown you that if the character input by the user is not a number, then it will display cout, please enter numbers only. It will clear the input in case of a wrong it will clear the input buffer in case of a wrong input, and ignore the next 1000 characters until the new line. It will return false in this case, and also false if the input is integer but not within the limit. It will return true if everything is alright. Now finally we come to a main function. Here it will print, then wait for enter, ask for enter, then this card, then initially the moves and pairs found are set to 0. Total pairs is 8. Then while pairs found is less than total pairs, so this loop will run infinitely if the player is particularly bad and cannot match that. Then clear screen will clear this output from the screen, and then it will print the board, and with a heading memory matching game, then it will print the number of moves made so far, the number of successfully matched pairs upon total pairs. Then from next line it will ask for input. If the user enters a card that has already been matched, then it will show this error and it will continue to stop the execution, and also if the input is not valid, it will continue and it will not run the rest of the codes within this block and go to true again. If everything is alright, it will break out of this while true loop. Then card index 1 is flipped will be set to true. Then the board will be printed again. Then the second card is similar to the first card, except for the fact that already flipped card cannot be flipped again. Then this index is flipped will be true and moves ++ and clear screen and print the board again. And next it will check whether the values are same or not. If the values are same, then it will display this congratulatory message, and otherwise it will say no match, try again, and it will flip them back so that those cards appear as asterisks. This is why the clear screen function was made, so that the user cannot cheat, and users need to use their memory to remember the number that was present in that particular card. Then it will ask for enter again, and it will run again. It will clear a screen if the number of pairs found are less than total, and here if the number of cards pairs found is total pairs, then it will clear the screen and print congratulations, and it will print the board. Then it will display how many moves you took. The player can challenge themselves here to decrease the number of moves. Then see out, game over, ask for enter one last time, and finally it's done. Thank you.